Remember, remember, the 11th of September. Sir, in the very near future, we will be experiencing our first 9/11 anniversary, with you as Commander-in-Chief.
Yes, a very solemn day for our nation. A day of reflection and yet a day of historical consciousness as well.
Now, in researching your position regarding the events of 9/11 and the subsequent investigation that followed, am I correct to understand that you fully support and endorse the findings of the Commission report, otherwise known as the official story?
Do I have any reason not to? Given that most of us are presumably in touch with similar evidence. No disrespect, but I have to ask. What is it that you seem to be implying with the initial direction of this discussion?
I'm not implying anything, Mr. President. I'm here to present the facts and see what you plan to do with them.
Let me guess. Your facts, allegedly supporting these claims you brought with you.
Good guess, Mr. President. These are not my opinions or assumptions. This is all a matter of public record, reported through mainstream media, painstakingly fact-checked and verified. So, on August of 2006, the Washington Post reported that John Farmer, senior counsel to the 9/11 Commission, is quoted as stating, "I was shocked how different the truth was from the way it was described." He goes on to further state, "The NORAD air defense tapes told a radically different story from what had been told to us and the public for 2 years." As well are the statements from Commissioner Co-Chairman Thomas Keane and Lee Hamilton, Commissioners Bob Kerrey, Timothy Roma, and John Lehman, as well as the statements of Commissioner Max Cleland, an ex-senator from Georgia, who resigned stating, "It is a national scandal. This investigation is now compromised. One of these days we will have to get the full story because the 9/11 issue is so important to America. But this White House wants to cover it up." He goes on to further state, "The NORAD air defense tapes told a radically different story from what had been told to us and the public for 2 years."
Mistakes were clearly made, but we as a people and as a country need to move forward.
Sir, how can we focus on the future when the Commission itself is on record stating that they still do not know the truth?
Perhaps you should be interviewing them instead of me. Wait, don't tell me. I was easier to track down than them.
Not exactly, sir. But let's be honest. 9/11 has been the pretext for the systematic dismantling of our Constitution and Bill of Rights. Your administration is reading from the same playbook that the Bush administration foisted on America through documented secrecy and deception.
Mr. V, I'm having a difficult time sitting here and listening to you draw distorted parallels between the Bush-Cheney regime and mine.
Mr. President, the parallels are not distorted, just because you say they are. Let's stick to the facts. You promised to abolish the Patriot Act, and then voted to reauthorize it. You pledged to end warrantless wiretapping against the American people, and now energetically defend it. You promised over and over again on the campaign trail that you would end the practice of indefinite detention, and instead you have expanded it to permanent detention of detainees without trial. This far exceeds the outrages of the former administration. Call me crazy, Mr. President, but is this not your record?
My staff and I authorized this interview based on your request to discuss 9/11. Call me crazy, but it appears as though you've blindly wandered off topic.
Sir, the examples I just illustrated are a direct result of 9/11.
And I'm telling you that we must move forward. We must endure through these dangerous and politically challenging years ahead.
Mr. President, are you aware of the number of days it took to begin the investigation into JFK's assassination?
If memory serves, I believe it was 2 weeks.
Close. 17 days to be exact. Are you aware, sir, how long it took to begin the investigation into Pearl Harbor?
I would say again, about 2 weeks.
Close again, sir. 11 days to be exact. Are you aware, Mr. President, how long it took to begin the investigation into 9/11?
I know it must have seemed like a very long time for all the grieving families.
It was a very long time, Mr. President. 440 days, roughly 14 months. Does it bother you, Mr. President, that it only took 5 hours after the initial attack for Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld to recommend and endorse a full-scale offense against Iraq?
I am not aware of any such purported claims.
I have the proof, Mr. President. Along with scores of documents and facts I'd like you to take a look at here.
I see you come prepared, eh?
No other way to show up, Mr. President. When in doubt, over-prepare, I always say.
Now you sound like the First Lady.
That's quite a compliment, sir.
As you wish. Please continue.
Sir, I'd like to direct your attention to a document entitled Operation Northwoods, a declassified Pentagon plan to stage terror attacks on U.S. soil to be blamed on Cuba as a pretext for war.